Hey, what is up? My name is Chris. I'm an online fitness expert. Today, I'm going to teach you about the all or nothing mentality, why it is messing up your results, not only just because it's something we almost inherently know, but I'm going to show you the actual math and science behind it so that maybe not only can we pack you with exactly why you should not be doing it as far as from a feeling standpoint, but also from facts. We want our facts to dictate our feelings, not our feelings to dictate our facts. This is something that is so important, especially when it comes to your long-term weight loss success, that I'm very passionate about teaching because it is important. I don't want you to have to live a life of on and off. I want it to be more like a wave. How can we kind of navigate through this thing? Okay, so first, let's talk about what an all or nothing mentality is so we're all on the same page. An all or nothing mentality is you are 100% on or you are 100% off. And there's no in between. It is either you are doing everything or you are doing nothing. Okay. And when we live a life like that, it sets us up for failure right out of the gate. Let me give you just one example amongst probably millions. When you track your food on any sort of tracking system, a nutrition facts label has a room of error that the FDA allows that label, that particular product to have. From what I've looked up and heard and understood, is that room of error could be upwards of 25%. So if you are being 100% so perfect, meticulous, all the things, you still could be off by 25%, which is pretty far. If it's a 100-calorie thing, man, it's 150 actually. Nice try. Good luck. Stinks to be you. Don't know what to tell you. So that's just one thing, let alone your watch that tracks your calories burned in your workout is highly overestimating what you're doing, especially in some of these big box gyms or like the Orange Theories or even all of those places, right, where they have the heart rate monitors. They're way off, including my MyZone, right? My MyZone said in like 30 minutes, I burned 600 calories, 20 metabolic, 20 METs. That's not happening. Definitely not. It's really hard to do that. So with all of that being said, let's look at just some numbers, okay? Now, I've got a spreadsheet here, so bear with me, okay? I'll go over each of these things. Let me get it. That's on my thing down here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is we're looking at if you, these are days here on the B column. Perfect is 10 out of 10. A perfectionist mentality is typically you're nailing Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you fall off bandwagon, okay? And then you just rinse and repeat that thing. This bad boy goes down to 120 days, okay? 120 days. So then the ideal way of living life is to have some flow, have some motion. And on here, I just put random numbers. I just clicked anywhere between 6 and 10. I made sure that there's not a lot of 10s so that we can make it really ultra realistic about what it is, about how the things go down so that it makes it to where it's not only this is under what you probably are going to do and you'll perform way higher than this because you'll probably hit perfect numbers more often than you would hit the numbers that I have. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is what I did. It said 10 out of 10 resulted in a 500 calorie deficit, which is at the end of the week, you would lose roughly 1 pound of fat. Okay. And every number below that would be 100 less. So when you got to 5, which there's no 5s in here, okay, it's 0. And then beyond 5, so like a 4 would be a negative 100, a 3 would be a negative 200, so on and so forth, okay? So here's what I did. I put random numbers in here. And in this perfectionist mentality, out of a perfect score of 1,200, you got 690, which is 57% of your total what you could have. Okay. Then the zeros, because you had 3 days of zeros per week, it's 51. And each of those days resulted in a net negative 500 calories. So that means that you lost that you had actually overeaten to the tune of 25,500 calories. Hopefully I'm not missing you on the math here. 10 would result in a 500 calorie deficit, which is 67 days. Which results in a net 33,500 calories that you're negative. You combine those two to get a net number. That net is 8,000. Okay. So over the course of 120 days, using a perfectionist mentality, you netted 8,000 calories, which results in 2.28 pounds lost in 120 days. That's 4 months. At the end of the year, that's 6.8 pounds, maybe 7 pounds of fat lost, because these numbers are all perfect, round, cute numbers, right? 6.85 pounds at the end of the year. So if you were to be like, hey, for you to have the strain to be perfect, absolutely perfect 4 days a week, you're going to have to do that to be perfect. To get the results, you have to be perfect every single day. That's what that gets you. Not super great, right? Now, let's look at what ideal happens, okay? Ideally, you go between 6 and 10, somewhere in there, okay? And each of these things, I'm not going to get into the stratification behind each of them, but each of them has a little bit of a wiggle. So let's say you're sick and you can't eat any food. Okay, well, that would maybe get you losing weight faster, but it also means that you're not moving around a ton, which means maybe that deficit isn't as low as we'd like it to be. Whatever. Or let's say you have an injury and you can't exercise. Or let's say you're traveling. You're on we're going to Hawaii in March. We're going to be on a plane for 7 hours. It's going to be pretty challenging to walk around during that time. So I'm not going to be burning as many calories, right? And let's assume I don't know how to adjust anything. All the numbers, when you add them up, is 937, which means you're hitting target 78% of the time. Oh, snap. Better than the perfectionist mentality. And this one, you had that pressure of hitting perfect 67 times in a row throughout the 120 days, which is barely over half, by the way. This one, you only were perfect 10. Wow. How many of you do you think you can be perfect more than 10 days in 120? Comment below if you think you can be perfect more than 10 days in 120 days of hitting targets of nutrition and exercising and steps. That's the 3 things you got to do. Walk around to the tune of your targets, anywhere between 4,000 and 12,000 steps, somewhere in there, depending on you. Hitting your nutrition, which you plan for ahead of time to do, and exercise 3 times a week. Probably a lot of you, right? Comment below if you think you can do that more than 10 times. But I was literally assuming the worst, that you having the worst time, and that the 120-day stretch was the worst time of your life. Okay. Each of these things, again, I just use the numbers of the math over here. Okay. This results in a net negative of 33,700. Again, this is using crap numbers. I could add probably 15, 20 more 10s in there, and it would be drastically different. But we'll just keep it with this, which results in 9.62 pounds over the next 120 days, which over the year, that's 9.62 pounds of fat, not just pounds off the scale, okay? Which results in 28.88, or about 29 pounds at the end of the year. Now, again, watch what happens if I just take some of these. Let's get rid of, if it's a 7, I'll do this. Let's do Control F. And I'm going to take 7, and I'm going to replace it with 9. Okay, let's find some. Oh man, I hate that it's like that. It's like right in the middle. All right, here, I'll replace all the 7s with 9s. Okay, so there's no 7s on here minus this one. Obviously, that makes sense. And let's see, this one. So there's no 7s. Now, check what happens. Now you're down 11. You still aren't perfect. 90%. You're 5xing the other person. Over 5. Like 5.5 times. Just by having a dimmer setting on your mindset. Not a light switch. See this? So can we all agree now, please? No more. You got to stop it. Once this light switch comes on, I got to be perfect. Remind yourself, perfectionist mentality gets me 2 pounds in 120 days or 7 pounds at the end of the year. At best. At best. Because I'm going to assume that you're only doing negative 500, which is not a lot. Watch what happens when you go more than that. 750. Now you're gaining weight. You gain 4 pounds of fat at the end of the year. See what I mean? It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. So stop it. Cut it out. Have a freaking awesome day. Kick some butt. Remember this video, save it, okay, for yourself for when, if I'm trying to have an all or nothing mentality, it's going to result in negative 40 pounds, negative 4 pounds, of fat. That means you're gaining 4 pounds. And this one, you're going to lose 33 at the end of the year. 33 pounds of fat. That's phenomenal. That's a bomb pace. Okay. Have a great freaking day. Kick some butt. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.